Counting number of previous hospitalizations in a wide list view. Tutorial 35. How to turn a multiplicity into a singularity using only count and no other fields. For additional insights in cohort building, please read Riddles in Accountable Healthcare by Eran Bellin, available through Amazon either as paperback or Kindle. In a previous tutorial, I pointed out that whenever you use list method all, you must choose the long view to review the results in a spreadsheet. There is one exception. If you restrict yourself to using only the count variable from the analysis definition, since a count is functionally a singularity, it can be used in wide view. So why is this important? Well, sometimes you want in your spreadsheet a count of the previous hospitalizations or the previous ED visits, and you want just a column for that. You don't want all those hospitalizations. You don't need the detail of all those hospitalizations. You just need the count. So I'm now going to show you how you can take an analysis definition that has the meaningfulness of all and turn it into a singularity that can be used in Study Designer. Let's first prepare our analysis definition. We'll go to Analysis, Analysis Canvas, and we'll create a new analysis definition. This analysis definition is going to be called discharges all 0 to 180 days before. Adding condition within condition. Discharges all, new definition, discharges inpatient discharge, update and close, 0 to 180 days before, cohort collection. Update and close. And now I'm going to save it. That will generate the AD here. I will use save as, ED triage, or ED. I'll use ED, all 0 to 180 before. I'll modify, edit this. So instead of discharges, I have ED triage, but I want to make sure that these ED visits do not include a repeat hospitalization. I have ED triage, but I want to make these to be ED visits without an admission, so I have to add another condition, and that condition is disposition equal to inpatient admission, not. So I have ED without admission, update and close, and then I save and exit, and that creates ED all 180 before. So now I have both of my analysis definitions, and I'm ready to go to my Study Designer. I create a new study. Study is called Pneumonia Pre-Admits DCs, pneumonia pre-DC ED, going to get first, as our first group, the males who were discharged in 2010, where we use the admit date as the date for the index. Call these the males. These were the pneumonia patients. I'm adding now the females. These are the pneumonia patients who were females discharged alive, and we use the admit date. Females. The method, we're going to call it the list method. These are discharges and ED visits. We're going to get rid of all the variables that we really don't care about, because I just want to have us focus. Just highlighted it, and I shift and highlighted that. I exit out. And now I'm going to go to the advanced mode. I'm going to choose from my drop down the discharges, all 180 days before. You see the metaphor moves in the reverse direction because we're looking before. I'm going to now find the count. This is the number of discharges that happened this time period as my outcome variable. And this is very important. I have to remove from my selected attributes any of the attributes that would be repeated with the multiple visits. So here you have an event date time. I don't want that. If I had the event date time, then the list would have a separate column for each event time for the outcome event. Since I get rid of it, the only thing that's there is count, and the list will only have a single column for count for the discharges. Now I choose the ED count. ED all 180 days before, the same thing. I bring over just the count variable. But I notice there are two other variables that would be repeated with each individual ED visit, the event date time and the disposition. Both of those have to be removed. I've taken the all AD for the discharges and all AD for the ED visit and just chosen a singular column so it can be displayed in the wide view. I don't have to use the long view, and now I will have a spreadsheet that will have a count of the number of previous discharges and the number of previous ED visits without a hospitalization admission that occurred in the preceding 0 to 180 days. Now we run the method, and we notice here are the number of discharges for each individual patient in the cohort. And here's the number of ED visits without an admission for each of the individual patients. As usual, you can export. And now you've turned a multiplicity into a singularity. And you can count the number of anythings, number of hospitalizations, number of EDs, number of cardiac echoes, anything you want can be counted in a single column. You just have to be extraordinarily careful not to bring over any other variable, any other attribute of that event that has a multiplicity. Because even if you bring over a single other attribute that is repeated, each of those attributes will generate another column. So just bring over count, make sure you have no other variable, and you're home free.